when I was a kid, nobody cared if I had anything to do.
Oh, yeah.
It was up to me to like find something cool to do and not be bored. And my best friend and I talk about this all the time. Like when you were a little kid, you could pick up a rock like this and you would be entertained for like
hours.
20 minutes at least, you know?
Oh my God. For me.
Yeah. Hours.
Hours. I remember I would go out climbing with my father and his friends, and I would just find a massive rock. And I'm like, and I'd ask my dad, I'm like, can I keep this? And he's like, sure. Why? Whatever. And I would take the car with me, and I would just carry it with me because it looked cool. And for hours, for like when we're driving and stuff. And then just randomly, I'm like, all right, you know what? I think I'm done with this rock. So I just throw it out the window. And it's gone.
And that's what we used to do.
That's what we used to do. I remember.
Pretend to be something. Pretend to put on a show.
Do you know what LARPing is?
Remind me.
LARPing stands for live action role play. Yeah. I used to do that.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
You should always tend to your inner child, you know? And I feel like that really tends to your inner child.
It absolutely.
LARPing.
I did it as a kid.
Yeah.
I was a kid when I did it, and I continued to do it until high school. I did something different in high school, but when I was a kid, I had a next door neighbor. Okay. And he loved, you know what Warhammer is?
No.
Okay. Warhammer is the mini figurine game, that you use kind of like imagine like a massive Risk. You know, the Risk, the board game? No. Okay. It's basically, you just have these bunch of figurines and you put them on a playing field and you're fighting against these specific scenarios. Sometimes you could be playing with another teammate or you can be playing against them. It's a cool game. Really cool game. But this same neighbor, I would go over to his house every single day after school, on the dot, like clockwork, over to his house every single day. His father used to work in a plumbing business or something. So there were a bunch of pipes everywhere, like PCP pipes. Those white, non-clear ones, the white ones. We would use those as swords.
Aww.
Those were our swords, and we would use them as bow and arrows too. We'd get two and we would role play. He'd be my, you know what Dungeons and Dragons is at least? Okay. He would be my dungeon master. He's the guy who's calling all the shots, and I'm the one like, I want to do this. And he's like, okay, you do that. I'm like, cool. Now I want to do this. I'm like, okay, that happens. That's what he would. Yeah. That's what he would do. And
that sounds so fun.
It was so much fun. And you know what? I honestly believe that what I did as a kid, and I'm not that old, I did this in the middle of 2003, 4, 5, 6. I honestly believe that does not exist anymore.
What doesn't exist anymore?
What I did as a kid.
Oh yeah.
There are not, kids don't do that anymore. Kids don't do that. They don't do that.
Yeah, I rarely see that now. It's really sad.
They don't do that. The imagination has just been completely stifled and destroyed. Destroyed. Not, the worst part is that imagination had never, you know what, I'll say this, imagination had never been perceived as a bad thing. It was always good to tell kids, like, use your imagination. Like, imagination's good. Then they start going to school and like, all right, imagination's not quite the answer, but it's good that you still have it. Imagination was never gotten rid of because it was bad. It became useless, essentially. Like, you don't need imagination anymore. You want to manifest something. I'm almost certain you can find that exact thing that you're trying to manifest on the internet. Online. Someone's probably most likely already doing it. You know, like it's almost a combination of talking about imagination and originality. It's not that they went away. It's just there's less and less and less and less and less of it. And that's so sad because when I was a kid, that's all I had. And I loved it. I had a great childhood because of that. Because my parents let me be as imaginative and original as humanly possible. I haven't been around enough kids nowadays, but as far as looking at the big picture, I might be able to strongly say that just does not exist anymore.
Yeah, I agree.
It's sad.
It's so sad.
It's so sad.